women were kidnapped. This happened millions of times before to millions of Jews across history. Jew hatred exists because evil exists, because there are people who have, for literally all of human history, hated the Jews and sought to strike at them while they are weak, who have blamed the Jews for their own problems, who have crafted complex conspiracy theories about the supposed power of the Jews, who have sought to destroy, to murder, to mutilate, from Pharaoh to Haman, from Hitler to Hamas.
What reaction have you had to that, Ben?
I think the reaction has been pretty strong and overwhelmingly positive. I think there are a lot of people, not only Jews, mostly my audience is people who are not Jewish, obviously, who understand the history of the Jewish people, who understand what it means when the greatest slaughter of Jews on a mass scale happens since the Holocaust, and who understand that it is inextricably linked to a history of anti-Semitism that goes back thousands of years. I mean, this extermination level anti-Semitism, what you see from Hamas, it's literally part of their charter. And so the attempt to treat them as a normal political body obviously is foolish. I think that a lot of people resonated to that. It's certainly the strongest I've felt about anything that happened in my lifetime since 9/11, as an American, since 9/11. And as a Jew, obviously, I'm watching as people that I know, people I'm friends with, are getting called up to go to the military and serve in Gaza, try to protect the Israeli citizenry, who are Jews and Arabs, who are Christians and Jews and Muslims. And I'm watching as there are people out there who are rallying on behalf of actual terrorist groups murdering children. I mean, it's an amazing, I would say, exposure of ignorance at best, and Jew hatred at worst.
Do you have any personal connection to anyone whose life was taken?
I don't. I'm lucky. I would say that I have. Certainly, I know a lot of people who do. So the way to talk about the Jewish community in general, there are not very many Jews on the planet. Due to conspiracy theories, people tend to think there are tens of millions of Jews on the planet. The grand total number of Jews on planet Earth is about 15 million. About 7 million who live in the state of Israel. There are about 6 million who live in the United States. And what that means is that in general society, you think, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. With 7 degrees of connection, you can find anyone. Among Jews, that's one. That number is one. So I certainly know an enormous number of people who have had people who are kidnapped, who've had people who are murdered. I certainly know personally an enormous number of people who are on the ground right now. I know Americans who are in Israel with me who decided to stay over the last day of the Om Tov, over the holiday, and ended up basically getting stuck there because the airport was shut down because of rocket attacks. And when the call went out to everybody with medical training to show up to help, I know American doctors who showed up at the Gaza border to simply set up triage stations and help people out. So, I mean, it's a very small community. It's a very close-knit community, obviously.
You've spoken a lot about Hamas before, called them evil. You did a second video called Make God Avenge Their Blood, in which you said that Hamas, in some ways, they are worse than Nazis, which some viewed as a very provocative statement.